NCERT, Class 12, Sociology, Chapter 5, Change and Development in Industrial Society, Volume 2, Part 1. Hi guys, I welcome you all for the session of Sociology. The different classes of people. There are several classes of people in a city. Elite, upper class, upper middle class, lower middle class, lower class and below poverty line BPL. Although we do share some common infrastructure like walk facilities, monuments, etc. So there is a divide in our society between the rich and the poor. There are differences as people are recognized on the basis of acclaimed status. That is, not based on the birth, but based on our hard work, education. These are called as acclaimed status. Example, actors, actresses, directors, etc. Only the actors reap the benefits and the stunt artists, dancers, etc. are not noticed. Marketing advertisements, trailers have really helped these people. Different classes of people eat at different places. Some eat at 5-star restaurants while some eat on the roadside. This is the divide between the rich and the poor. This picture clearly shows us the divide between the rich and poor. People eating at 5-star restaurants and on the roadsides. Major changes occurring in a city in urban areas can be attributed to the development of science and technology. Earlier, women's preferable jobs were limited. It was limited to a teacher or a nurse. Nowadays, some fields are male-dominated as fighter pilots, though there exist many options nowadays. Women are onto all jobs nowadays. They reach all fields. Because of science and technology, a lot of disparities have been bridged now. A lower class can become an upper caste by working hard. Even today, society depends upon the people inhabiting the place or area. Images of industrial society. The social aspect of industrialization. Face-to-face interaction is limited compared to rural areas in urban areas because urban people are mostly working and these people are very much engaged. There is urbanization wherever there are industries, cities come up. We have already learnt the concept that wherever industrialization happens, urbanization also happens hand in hand. So this is the basic reason that rural people have more time because they have addicted themselves to agriculture. Whereas in cities, if you see, people have lot of work, industrial work, factories or offices. They have to engage themselves with a lot of time in working for all these things. So they have limited time and they are least bothered about the next person. So face-to-face interaction is limited in urban areas. With the growth of industrialization, norms collapse, criminal activities and corruption begins. There is no time to interact with the family members. The person gets alienated from this society. It is extremely exhausting, monotonous and depressing. So there is an increase in criminal activities. The advantages of living in a city are better paid jobs are available. There is an increase in standard of living. Caste distinction is not as much as in rural areas. Freedom of thought and expression and individualism is available. We have covered in so many chapters that when people are in rural areas, there is more caste distinction. They are being identified by their neighbors that they pertain to such and such lower class. But when we come to city, it is not easily available for the people to understand which caste are we belonging to. And even people have the proximity, people have the availability of more better paid jobs, and thereby standard of living is increased. Disadvantages of living in a city. There is a distinction in terms of class, standard of life and lifestyle because it all depends on the income we earn. We belong to the upper class or the high upper class society. Class distinctions are quite high. Gap between the rich and poor is increasing rapidly. Increase in crime rate, and because of all this, alienation increases. When we belong to the poor section of the society, or when the crime rate, for example, a person is going into criminal activities, the person is being alienated by the society. And even if the person belongs to the poor section of the society, he is being segregated by the society very easily. Industrialization and modernization. Industries sprang up. Life changed drastically because earlier days we have discussed that people were pertaining to the villages and they were more with the agricultural activities. As and when people moved to the cities, slowly industries sprang up. Before that there were cottage industries, and because of all these industries, urbanization also started. To use science and technology, modernization is inevitable. And when people started to move to cities, people started to think rationally. The modernization theory grew different societies at different stages of modernization, but they are all working towards the broadness of a global view. This concept of modernization came up in the West, and that is why they are highly developed. Industrialization in the society in India. We are going to discuss about the developing countries. There are three sectors of economy: the primary sector, secondary sector and the tertiary sector. So in developing countries, if you see, primary sector is more than the secondary and the tertiary sector. Particularly in India, we are growing more with the tertiary sector. We also have more people in primary sector than the secondary. Tertiary sector is the support system to the primary sector. The support system includes IT sector, communication, transport, banking, etc. Developing countries. We have manpower, but the work culture is not up to the mark. Work ethics are not followed. 70% of our population is in the unorganized sector. So when we compare with the developed countries, tertiary sector is more, lesser number of secondary, and primary is the least. Though this 10% of the primary sector is more than the 70% of primary sector in India, due to advanced technology they have a lot of export. Work culture is also up to the mark, thus they are developed. Organized sector is in majority as compared to the unorganized sector. You might be wondering what is this organized sector and unorganized sector and all. We will be discussing this in detail. Now we will discuss what is an organized sector. Employment terms are fixed and regular and employees get assured work. So this is an organized sector. Organized sector jobs, people are white collared, almost all of them, and they follow the rules and regulations laid down by the government time to time. They are assured with particular job, with leave, paid leave. Now let's discuss in detail what are the features of organized sector. It consists of workers in private or public sector, and these people receive regular salaries or emoluments and other benefits including leave and social security in the form of provident fund and gratuity. What is an unorganized sector? Small and scattered units that do not work under the control of the government are unorganized sector. Examples of unorganized sector are plantation labor, handloom workers, fishermen, weavers, toddy tappers, beady workers, etc. So what we visualize is unorganized sector jobs. Their jobs are very difficult. They do not follow the rules and regulations laid down by the government. Rules and regulations are laid down by the employer and the employee has to follow. Whichever time he asks them to work, they have to work very hard. There is no paid leave. When they are not liked or when there is no job in that particular field, they are easily chucked out of the job. It is the wish of the employer. So there is no job security at all in this type of unorganized sector jobs. Mostly they are manual jobs. So let's discuss the features of an unorganized sector. There is no job security. There is no regular job at all in this sector. Workers are provided with daily wages. There are laws laid down by the government, but in this sector they are not followed. Workers are asked to quit the job due to less workload. They can be fired without any reason. So these are the features. As such, it is a disadvantage in all ways. So we have come to the end of part 1. I hope you would have understood and enjoyed my video. If you have enjoyed my video, please like, share, comment and subscribe to my channel Schooling. If you have any doubts, please ask me. Please follow me in Instagram and Facebook. Thank you.